What's good, guys? It's Shama with the Gias here, and if you knew me or fairly well or seen me the past couple weeks, you should have known this is coming. This is the Amazon original, you know, the Invincible review. And slight warning, there's gonna be spoilers, but if you want to listen, make sure you hit that subscribe and like button. And if you just want to know, hey, I like superhero movies. Should I give this a shot? I would say most definitely. Really enjoyable, good characters, and I would say like an interesting story for the least. So, 40-second review for the people that just want to know should I watch or not. You should. Now, if you want more reason to watch it and you don't mind spoilers, or you just want to hear a review about a person on their thoughts on the show, then I'm the right person. So, last warning, if you don't want to get spoiled, good time to dip out. Give him a second. All right, it's time to talk about Invincible. So, where should I start? So, how I'm going to label these things is going to be story, characters, and personally, the mixture of the two in the end. So, story is basically about, you can say like a Superman or Saiyan person or half Saiyan named Mark. He's 17, bullying. He's like, damn, bro, when am I getting my powers? And, during the first episode, he does. And, it's like a nice little wholesome show. It's like, man, learning how to use your powers and all this stuff until like the end of the first episode. His dad, which is basically Superman, just slaughters rip off Justice League. And you're like, well, why did he do that? So, as the show goes on, you see more experiences as Mark being a superhero, taking out bad guys or learning how to. I think the main point of the season is him mixing his life with like his superhero life, which he kind of sucks at right now, which I appreciate. I'm pretty sure for most superheroes, they're always like, man, I always get there in the nick of time, or they usually don't have this problem, at least when it comes to like mainstream shows. But he's basically like if Superman had a personality of Spider-Man. That's how I see it. Because Spider-Man also dealt with these problems with like, I have no hose because I'm over saving New York, and Mark is basically doing the same thing because he's like during the third episode, he's trying to have like a date because he's like dope, a date to like take things off his mind, and then he realizes that he needs to be a superhero even when he doesn't, when he even want to go on his date. Fourth episode, uh, I would say for me is the weakest one because it's just basically the wife being like, maybe he did kill those people, and then Mark going off into Mars and setting up this whole thing that's probably gonna be for season 2 with like the little breeding aliens. So that was the whole thing. Um, episode 5. What was episode 5 again? Oh, episode 5 is one of the craziest ones where Mark feels how. Sorry. Mark sees how it is to be betrayed by like quote unquote bad people when he gets shit rocked by a battle beast, and then the guy's like a Titan is like, sorry, bud, it'd be like that. Episode 6 is basically like you could say like a small filler arc, but like setting up for more. It's like Mark trying to go in college to fix things up with a girl, and he has to be a superhero once again, which messes up his chance. And he's like, "Well, what the fuck? I gotta save people." Episode 7 is basically Superman or Omni Man, whatever you want to call him. But he's just like, "Hey, yo, we gotta talk about what the fuck happened." And episode 8 is basically, the big, oh shit, you killed them because you hate Earthlings and you want to take over the planet because you're Viltrumite, and Viltrumites are basically Saiyans because they want to kill us all and take over the planet because they're really, really sucky and stuff like that. And throughout all of this, they have like nice, interesting subplots, like the thing with Robot. Him trying to regain a body because of Monster Girl, and seeing that work out with the Mauler brothers. And shout out to Mauler brothers for having the theme of Run the Jewels, by the way, really cool. You have like the Debbie, which is basically Mark's Invincible, Invincible's mom, and Omni Man's wife, figuring out the plot twist of, yeah, he killed him, and you have the government basically, like Shield type government, that's trying to figure out a way to like subdue him by the leader sue him, like Cecil, because he knows, but just really don't know how to control, like, what do you do against that? Like, is the whole point of Suicide Squad if they actually make sense, basically, like actually finding out a reason instead of having a girl with a hammer and a man with a gun. And actually have a plan if like a Superman type beat goes rogue. Sorry about that. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that they actually try to say, hey, there's not a lot we can do. And basically, one of our only hopes is this half Viltrumite that we're not sure if he's good or not. And it makes sense, I appreciate it. Uh, we also have the forming of the new Guardians of the Globe, which is basically Justice League. And at first, they suck at being the team because they're all assholes. And then, after they get their shit waxed in, but also Battle Beast, a monster, by the way, they start to be more of a team. One of the members get their powers back, and pretty good. Now we should talk about the characters. Okay. Oh wait, hold up. So favorite episode, I would say episode 7, because it feels like the climax of what's gonna happen, and it feels like a peak of most of what was going on. Robot gets a body. Omni Man's over here figuring out that the government spied on him the whole time, and goes on a crazy spree, fighting giant monsters, fighting, well, kind of fighting Cecil. Uh, just a lot of stuff, and I feel like it was, if they left that as the season finale, people would have been livid, and I'm glad they didn't. I feel like it was really good, and it connected a lot of dots, which was planted basically the whole season. Once again, weakest episode is the Mars episode because it's like, I wouldn't say it's forgettable, right? But it's like the one that stands out the most in not a good way. Because basically, it's just Mark being like, oh shit, I'm going to Mars for 2 weeks, dope. And there's times where he's like, well, I don't want to be a superhero for 2 seconds, but he's okay with 2 weeks being in Mars. And, probably having a probability of invasion, and probably should have told the government that, hey, there might be an alien man on your planet that might take over Earth. But no, no, no. And the finale, I really like. Finale, I'm glad it's not like some anime power up where because he said some hurtful things, he just whoops the shit out of Omni Man and he actually get body bagged as it should have been. And it's interesting that Nolan's different, I appreciate that his character is, it's mysterious, but he's different from the rest because if he wasn't pure evil, he would have just took over the planet and not have a son and probably killed him if he'd opposed him instead of holding back and trying to get him on his side and saying a lot of stuff that kind of makes sense. Like, his main point is telling his son that he's gonna live to see everybody he loves dies, and then what he's gonna have, and he lives like thousands and thousands of years, and like, what are you gonna do against that? Well, you can't beat time. It just shows that, you know, he's trying to give his son a chance to see the bigger things in life, but if you see the show, he's not really a bigger than life person. He's more like chill, Uh, so characters. Uh, favorite character, I would say, is Omni Man. I feel like when Omni Man's on screen, or like the Omni Man scenes are the best scenes in the show. You know, the obvious first episode scene is what blew everybody back, where he literally kills everybody. And during the show, you see how he feels conflicted and see if, you know, these alien invasions, like in episode 2, where he smacks someone back to their dimension. You thinking, did he do this with every invasion that ever happened? Because it's kind of common. He said himself. Does he kill otherworldly people that Earth just thinks he just throws them away and give them nice talk? Is this a common thing for him to do, or did he snap recently? And him being conflicted for being loyal to his planet and being a loving father at the same time, and trying to be like a husband, I appreciate a lot. You know, I feel like is an interesting arc, and I'm interested of what season 2 is gonna do. Shao for season 2 and season 3 basically being confirmed though. And least favorite character. Oh boy, when I tell you they fumbled the bag on a black character. You know, a black woman. They made her the worst character in the show, and let me tell you why. So, Amber, you know, Mark's girl, quote unquote. Yeah, she's terrible. Main thing about her character is like she wants to do good, but every time a superhero, quote unquote, do good, you know, like Mark, she gets upset. And at first, you're like, well, she doesn't know. And you can say up to episode 5, she doesn't know. But around episode 5, I would say, because a few weeks, she said she knew. A few weeks that the train thing happened, where he got beat up by Battle Beast happened. She was like, oh, I know you're a superhero, but you spend time on me and stop lying. But like, what? Come on now. If you know what superheroes do, you should know that they can't just be telling people, hey, I'm invincible. Hey, I'm invincible. And you can't say that everybody else knew, because she was surprised that his best friend and Adam Eve knew. So you can't say, well, she knew. He knew. She thought she was the only one that knew and used common sense. And didn't use the common sense to think, maybe he's not telling me because he'll probably kill me. There's people that can wreck this person, that can literally throw trains, and, you know, it'll be good. But no, she's like, fuck you, bitch. And the only thing that brought her back was when she seen that he got body bagged by his dad. And not to like bring the way the situation, but Battle Beast kind of did the same thing to him. Same thing, and she got mad. And if she knew that Invincible was, you know, at the college trying to save his best friend and everybody else, when there's a giant rampaging robot man here, you should think, hey, he's doing this to help. Not fuck you, bitch, where you were. Even though you know where I was right there. It was a lot. It was a lot. um, I rock with Adam Eve too. She's more like, she's been in the game playing a superhero for a while, so she has a good amount of advice to give Invincible while still being like a friend and trying to do what's best for him, even though she's not sure what's best for him. Toxic parents, get out of it and realize it that the main reason why she wants to be a hero is to help people, not help people on the call, but when she wants to, basically, like a free agent. I rock a robot too. It's a really sad. I mean, robot story of like basically getting his whole story in 7 of why he's doing this. Got basically that air is to him is toxic. They've been living this life for like 30 years, I think he said. And seeing that there's someone kind of similar to him, that people see him as one thing, but they're really something else. And it brought him to make this crazy decision, even though a little bit weird, I agree, with the cloning his friend and working with villains just to get the body, but it's a notable act. Uh, Villains, well, they're just villains. You know, you have the Mauler brothers. You have Battle Beast. You have Titan. I really don't think that the villains are the main thing you go to for the show, as I feel like it'll be more of a later thing that villains are more of a threat. But it's more like, hey, there's villains you gotta fight sometimes. There you go. More than like, oh my god, it's it's you. It's more like deception of the heroes itself, you know. And yeah, everybody else, I'm good with. I like Debbie, really good character. I appreciate that. There's like a wife that has to deal with her son being a hero and suspecting that your Superman husband's up to something. But the only thing that didn't make sense is her thinking that heroes don't lie. I thought that was just common sense is that they just lie. They kind of have to. And it took that long to act if they did. But I think that should summarize it. And I would give this show like a good 8 out of 10. If you want like a superhero show, but you're too scared to be like, well, I don't know shit about this character. Well, you just watch Invincible. Because, all the characters are original. Really don't need to know their backstories because they're giving it to you. And you feel like you're shrouded in mystery while everybody else is. And I feel like the show has a lot to go off of. You know, what's going to happen with, oof, what's going to happen with Mark and his dad? Will his dad come back? How will the whole alien invasion thing happen? How will Robot with his human body and all the new Guardians of the Globe act as they're actually a team now? There's a lot to cover, and I'm glad it's getting more seasons. I like that this is getting recognized. I don't want like a one and done show because if this ended at season one, I would have been livid. So if you have anything to say in the comments or how you feel about it, or you just want to talk about what you enjoyed about the show, well, I'm here. So I suggest you watch it. This is Shaman of the Gia signing out.